So what happened with your customer?
Oh, okay. So it's kind of a longish story, but okay. So today, a female customer of mine at our comic book store, ACME Superstore in Longwood, Florida, by the way, came in, and I've known her for a few months now. She's been in the collecting game and into comics and stuff for about maybe 6 or 8 months now, and has had a subscription here, but has gotten into it kind of heavily. She's doing cosplay now. She's got a big Venom tattoo down her arm. It's like she's really going for it, you know. But I don't know, man. I had a weird kind of a run-in with her today. As we always do, we were playing movies here, and I was playing my favorite film, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Nice.
And as I do, because I'm a 40-year-old idiot, those movies kind of flow like music for me, so I'm always quoting them and I'll talk along with them. They play like music, you know? So I was doing that, and she kind of looked at me funny and asked what I was doing, and I pointed up the screen and I said, "Oh, I'm quoting my movie." And she's like, "Oh, okay, what is it?" And I went over, and I figured that we were probably just on a scene that wouldn't lend itself to, "Oh, that's Raiders of the Lost Ark." I said, "Oh, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark," and she says, "Never heard of it."
Wow.
And now keep in mind that this is somebody that's like our age.
Yeah.
Like somebody who there's no reason pretty much in the world that she wouldn't know, like had no idea what it was about or what it was, had never heard of it. Like she just kind of gave me this blank stare. And I didn't know how to react to it. And I was like, "Where's the Lost Ark?" You know, just like, of course, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And she's like, "No." And I said, "Indiana Jones." She says, "I think I've heard of Indiana Jones." And I'm like,
wow.
Like, oh my God. And of course, I think of this as nothing but opportunity. Like, oh my God. So I went over to the DVD player, pulled the thing out, put it in the case, and I handed it to her. I said, "Please go watch this. Please, like right now, go watch this." And she was really resistant to it, like unnaturally resistant to, you know, like, am I gonna like I was gonna give her a crap movie? You know what I mean? Like
you're like, this is in the top 100 movies of all time.
I said, this is
in the top like 25.
I said without reservation. I said, this is my favorite movie ever. Favorite movie ever made. I love this movie more than life itself. It's like my movie.
And she got weird about it?
Well, she was saying things like, you know, am I going to want my 2 hours back at the end of this? Like just being like unnaturally kind of resistant to it. And I didn't understand why. So it urged me to dig a little deeper into who this girl was.
Yeah.
So I started asking her questions. I'm like, okay.
Wait. Did you troll her Facebook?
No. This is all this morning. I haven't had a chance. I haven't been home yet to do that.
But that will happen.
All right, so we'll follow up with the Facebook trolling.
I know, right? So I asked her. I was like. Oh, that's the other part. She doesn't have Facebook.
Man.
Like, I know. Who is this person?
I think we've captured an alien.
We might have. But in digging a little further, now a little bit of backstory on this girl. She's been, like I said, coming in for a while. She's new to fandom, but she's been really cool. She's been bringing us, like...
She's heard of movies, right?
She
has heard of...
You think
this
she hasn't seen Star Wars either. Knows what Star Wars is, but hasn't seen it. So, and I've actually heard that before. So that didn't strike me as weird. I've never heard of anybody who hasn't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that just kind of flummoxed.
Or at least be aware of it.
I know. She's a really nice girl, but she regularly brings us like trays of cupcakes and things like that. She's a really, really cool girl, and I'm not disparaging her. If anything, I see her as someone to be helped, someone to be nurtured and brought further in, despite all the resistance. Let's see. So I gave her the movie, but she was. So I was asking her about like her upbringing. Like it was like, okay, well, what kind of
You're like confused
like,
now.
I really was like, what kind of life?
Come on, I need to know who did something wrong.
What kind of life? I know, right?
What happened wrong?
Well, she said I was brought up very religious, like strictly religious, and I'm like, okay. And
is this a religious movie?
I kind of cut her off and said, okay, well, I can see how a religious family might frown away.
She's
like
very familiar with The Last Crusade.
Yeah, I said, well, all of the things that he goes after, and I didn't want to give anything away, so I'm kind of talking around it. I'm like,
now you're selling it.
I felt like I was selling.
Sales. It has the Ark of the Covenant in it.
I know. I was like, I can see how a religious family might be put off by some of the depictions of some of the religious artifacts.
I always assume biblically, if you open the Ark of the Covenant, your face would melt off.
Of course,
I assume that was a biblical thing.
That's not movie magic. That's documentary. So she says that her family was, does he get a fine for that? Her family, she said she quoted Westboro. She was like, Westboro Baptist Church. She was like, Westboro Baptist Church, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, they're like that. They like picket the gays and stuff, and I'm like, really?
Oh wow.
And she's like, and she motioned to her sleeved Venom tattoo. Now she's
was
like,
this the girl
clearly
that was
I'm
just
out.
in here like 10 minutes ago?
No,
okay, all right,
different
because
girl.
I just saw she had a big tattoo. I didn't
No,
see what it was.
she motions to her arm and says, clearly I'm out of the scene now. But in talking to her, I felt really bad, and that they had damaged her in such a way that because I started asking her, I was like, okay, well, what do you just kind of get in there. I was like, well, what are you into? Like, what kind of movies? She's like, well, I'm really into blood and gore. And I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. I'm into horror. Yeah. I'm into horror. I said Raiders probably isn't going to fill that gap. I'm like, there's like melty Nazis and there's, spikes through a guy and stuff like that. But it's generally it's more action adventure than anything. I said, so you might not get that. And Nazis are good bad guys. I said, well, what else? And she's like, is there a love story? And I'm like, yeah, but it's kind of an unconventional one. They're kind of at odds for most of the movie. They seem to kind of be more, hateful towards each other for most of the movie. Yeah. And anytime I brought that up, she was like, she was just kind of like, kind of put off by it. And I was like, wow, who are you? Who are you, lady? Well, and so she has begrudgingly taken the copy home. But I'm really concerned. Like by the end of our conversation, it was like a good 20 minutes of conversation.
If she doesn't like it,
you're gonna get it back in pieces.
I told her at first. I was like, if you don't like it, I said, don't tell me. I said, don't tell me. I said because I like you as a person, and it would fundamentally change the way I feel about you. And then by the end of it, I went back to her and I said, you know what? I've changed my mind about that. Tell me the truth. So if you don't like this, for whatever reason you don't like this movie,
it's educational.
I said I can use that information to kind of gear you towards other things that you might like, because that's my thing. I want to educate and illuminate.
Get an outsider's view on it. Like,
man,
here's somebody. I mean, because here's the thing: it's another one of those cases where we were all kind of raised with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like
to see somebody who's of our age
that it's
go
a
back
vacuum.
and watch it for the first time, it would be really,
that it's a total vacuum for them.
It would be really interesting.
I would have
to see
just canceled her subscription and told her to get out. That's way too much time.
Depending on what she says afterwards, that might
by the end of our 20 minutes, I'm like, the back of my neck was sweating, and I was really concerned.
So this was like a Frost Nixon of nerds.
It was really kind of weird, because it was like sending one of my children out into the world to be evaluated, and I'm still really kind of knotted up about it. Like, is she going to come back in a few days and say, "Oh, that was crap"? You know what I mean?
Wait. She said she likes blood and gore.
She likes blood and gore.
There's blood and gore in it.
If she comes back, here's just something to roll around in your head. If she's like, not for me, next pick, John Carpenter's The Thing.
She's we actually brought that up. She's already seen it and likes it.
Okay,
and
cool.
likes it. So yeah,
all right, there's hope. There's hope.
There is. I think as much as we love this movie, I think it might be too pedestrian for her, because I think another one of the things she brought up was that she said, do the people suffer in it? And I'm like,
wow.
I didn't know quite how
Nazis, but that's okay, right?
I didn't know how to take that.
Passion of the Christ.
It seemed like
a lot of suffering and religious.
It could have been taken like, is there a powerful character arc? Like, I could see her meaning it like that, but the way she said it was like, do they suffer? Is there a lot of does the main people suffer? I know. I'm like totally fascinated by the
9 out of 10 people would be like, hey, does stuff blow up?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm very angry just listening to this. Like, this person, I just want to punch in the face. I don't have the patience to deal with any of that
I did
stuff.
say when she brought up the blood and gore, I said, well, the second one. There's like,
she could end up loving the second one.
I know.
Like, that's the best one.
And I'm okay with that.
Her favorite's going to be Kingdom with the Crystal Skull.
Oh, my God.
No, don't even say that.
Let's all agree that will not happen.
Yeah. Hey, don't even tell her about that one. Like, if she likes
some
these,
guys got
don't
together
even...
and made a fan film.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
That.
She's like, hey, what about this fourth one? You're like, no. That's some Japanese shit. That was a totally different story.
Man. So I will certainly keep you guys abreast of any developments.
What's her name?
Oh, now I was trying to steer clear of that.
Let's give her a nickname. What can we nickname her?
Let's call her Kid. Isn't that the name? Isn't that the name of the? What's the kid in the second one? In the second movie?
What,
Data.
No, it's not Data. That's Goonies.
What is it?
Short Round.
Fred Phelps.
Short Round.
Fred Phelps, the head preacher in Westboro Baptist.
Oh, come on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, Short Round.
I'm going to make you famous. Her name is Jamie Day.
Jamie Day?
name
That's
is
her
Jamie
actual
Day.
name?
That is her actual real name.
Oh, all right.
That's a cool name.
Related to Felicia Day, by any chance?
It might be. It might be.
If she happens to hear this, Jamie, just know that we're all rooting for you. We'll get through this together.
We are rooting for you. Not so much more the film itself.
So
I'm really indifferent.
It was really, and the thing was, by the end of it, like I said, it was a good 20, 25-minute conversation where I'm feeling like I really have to sell it. So by the end of it, I feel like, God, have I oversold Raiders of the Lost Ark? And can you
It's not even
oversell?
physically possible.
I don't think
It's one of those
so
perfect
good.
films.
It really is.
I feel the same way with Drunken Master and my wife.
Yeah.
I do that quite often. She still hasn't
When
gone
you
for
play
it yet.
Drunken Master with your wife?
No. Yeah.
Wait, let's play the thing again. Oh!
You should see his
Put your
monkey.
clothes
His
back
monkey
on.
carries wine jug. It's quite disturbing.
Monkey carry wines up.
So,
So this is the Played Out podcast.
welcome to the Played
Welcome
Out
to the
podcast.
Played Out podcast live at ACME Superstore in Longwood, Florida.
It's true.
If you're ever in the Orlando area, come on down and check out the amazing, just endless amounts of awesome stuff this year.
The newly expanded space,
Yes.
man. We're I think we're 12,000 square feet now. 12.
Good 12,000 square feet of comics, toys,
Art.
Yeah,
art.
man.
Oh my God! Now a whole theater space. Essentially,
man.
it's
That
an amazing,
that we
amazing
currently
place.
inhabit.
Their official slogan is ACME Superstore. Is there anything they can't do?
Oh man, that's
Is
a
that-
good one. That's
Thank
not
you.
that may or may not be true.
What's the acronym for that? Did they come up with something cool?
Yeah, I don't know.
Shield.
Oh, geez, that worked out well.
So, who are you, and what was the first movie you ever fell in love with?
Oh man.
Easy. Todd's going to appreciate this one.
Oh nice.
My name is Brandon. He appreciates that part first.
Sure.
Brandon Specht. And the first movie I ever fell in love with was by far Back to the Future, the original Back to the Future.
Nice.
It was my father and I, we don't tend to agree on anything media related. He likes explosions. He loves Die Hard, so we kind of agree on that. But
Sure.
I was kind of young at the time, so I couldn't really watch Die Hard. But Back to the Future was the first time we went to the movie, and everybody just came out really into the movies. And then 2 and 3, it was a trilogy, so we got to experience all that stuff and go to Pizza Hut and get cool sunglasses
I
that look
viscerally
like.
remember my
Nice.
Back to the Future experience. I have very,
Yeah.
very vivid memories of that.
You
And
can't, you can't take that movie, though.
No, I won't, because it's not my first. Because I'm an old man.
Oh, okay.
I'm.
My favorite is Nosferatu.
Whoa. I saw it when I was 12.
Yes, Birth of a Nation. Oh.
Oh, God.
So,
12 Angry Men.
Hello, I am Todd Fisher. I'm the toy guy here at said ACME Superstore in Longwood, Florida. My first love affair with a movie was, I would say Star Wars, but I was only 4 when I saw Star Wars in the theater. They were nice enough to drag me wide-eyed and agape to Star Wars, but Empire Strikes Back is the one where I really remember that, or maybe Superman were the first ones where I remember being present enough to appreciate it. Like with Empire, I have a very vivid remembrance because when we left the theater, I remember holding my dad's hand and as we were walking out, and then he touched me inappropriately.
Wow, that took a
That's not true.
sharp turn.
Sharp turn.
Yeah.
That escalated.
I was tearing up a little bit.
He was holding my hand. We're leaving the theater, Daytona Beach Theater, by the way. We're walking out, and he looks down at me, and he's like, so you think Darth Vader's really his father? And I couldn't get behind it. I was like, nope, he's lying. No way. There's
You actually
no way.
played out the scene the way Luke did.
I
You're
said,
like,
no way. Yeah, I said, there's no way. He's a liar. He's lying. Right as we left, my grandmother, who was staying with us at the time, bought me a big thing of colored pencils, and I went home and started drawing everything I remembered.
Nice.
Like in comic book form, and I'd never really done that. I'd done drawings,
Right.
but I was in a comic book frame of mind at that time. I'd been reading a lot of comics, and early on, because I was 7, I guess, when that one was coming out. So I just went home and started drawing in sequence the things that were going on. So yeah, Empire Strikes Back for me. Carry on.
man,
Awesome.
solid list so far.
Yeah, that's wild. I am Matt Too Cool Heimerl, and first movie I fell in love with, I would have to say would be DuckTales Treasure for the Lost Land.
Nice.
Our list is good so far.
Yeah.
I remember
that is an unexpected turn in this.
Yeah, I went to go
Especially
see it with
because
my...
it's the most action-packed of the group.
Well, the thing is, we went to... I forget what else was playing at the time. My mom dropped my friend Lindsay and I off at the movies, and we were going to see something that was sold out, so we went to go see that. And from then on, we just...
How old were you at the time?
I don't remember, man. I was probably like 8,
Yeah.
9 at the time. So I was a pimp even at that age. You know, I always had chicks on mine. What's up?
What up?
And but
And that's where you got the nickname Too Cool.
That's right, Too Cool. 2 O's.
That's
You
right.
know, what's up?
Yeah.
I spell right.
Wait. That was the one? I'm thinking of the right one, right? Where at one point it's where they get the wishes. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. And then at one point, one of them's like, "I'm going to wish for 1,000,000 wishes," and then like the genie dude's like, "No, don't do that." And I'm just sitting there like, screw that dude. You wish for 1,000,000
what you
wishes.
want, man.
Wishes. I can't do it.
Even as a kid, I was like, "Come on, he has no authority over you."
This is why you've got me on the show. By the way, I've never seen it, so we have to make sure Todd sees it before the end of his life. I have to see the film. I've never seen it.
That's great.
I was a big fan.
You are aware of DuckTales.
Well, never heard of it. No.
I have all the seasons.
No,
so
I have.
haven't seen it.
I'm very aware of the show, but I've never seen the movie.
I guarantee I haven't seen it in probably like 15, 20 years.
Oh, man.
But I bet you, if you pop that in, I will still know all the words of that movie.
Yeah, I was just thinking my recollection of that particular part is really kind of a warning signal that I need to clear some headspace. The last time I saw that movie, I was probably 9.
Need more mescaline.
But best movie of all time, Apollo 13. Yep. Okay.
Oh man.
What's up?
No, that wasn't the question. You're out.
Best
No,
movie.
Oh, man.
go away.
Thanks.
I am. My name is Nick, and the first movie that I ever fell in love with was Jurassic Park.
Yay.
I mean, that was
Quality list.
Quality
list.
Yeah, I mean that was the
That is one
first
big pile of
movie we went and saw it in the theater, and like I have memories before that of like seeing movies in theaters, but that was the first one where I left the theater like, you know, like having absorbed a new experience, basically, not just stared at a bigger screen than my TV.
That actually it still holds the record for the number of times I saw a movie in the theater. So 23 times in the theater.
Jeez.
I believe mine is Austin Powers too.
Really?
I think so.
The number?
Yeah, the most I saw in a theater. I think I saw it like 4 times in the theater.
It was this weird perfect storm where I saw it myself 2 or 3 different times, but then everybody was like, dude, you got to see this. I'm like, all right, let's go see it. They would take me to see it. So I saw it, and then once it hit Dollar Theater, it was over. I was there like sometimes 2-3 times a day.
Right.
Man, I love that one too. That's a good
2
one.
Towers for me.
Oh,
8
man.
times for 2
8
towers.
times for
In the
2
theater?
hours.
Yep, in the theater.
Oh, you're a champion. All right, you're back in.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
That kind of counts because that's like a 4-hour flick. So that's about
Jurassic
it.
Park,
adds up,
though,
man.
I think is the first movie that I actually cried so hard that while I was laughing.
What movie
at.
gets
Really?
smart?
Yeah.
Shoot, I thought we were still in 2 towers.
No, because when you brought it up, I just remember when he's Samuel L. Jackson, right? When he sits there, he's like, "Look at this workstation! What a complete slob!" He just do all.
And that made you laugh?
For some reason,
man.
I pissed myself. And even to this day, if I see that, you didn't say the magic word. Please, hate this hack of crap. That's Samuel L.
And this
Jackson's
is the part of the
best
show
movie.
where we all
Hold on
just
to
do
your butts.
lines from Jurassic Park.
Hold on to your butts.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid list. And the reason why we asked that question today is because in our Get Real section, we're going to be doing the summer movie sort of preview, but in some cases, review. Yeah. So obviously we all some of us saw Iron Man 3 together. We put a review of that up online.
Okay, so everyone's seen it.
Overall enjoyed. Matt didn't like it so much. Todd?
It was good but not great.
Good, but not great.
Yeah.
And I ended up liking it a little bit more than I originally thought. I had to.
It had to grow on you?
I had to think on the whole Mandarin thing. It just threw me for a loop.
If I had my biggest problem with it, other than I'm a big fan of subtlety, and there was not a lick of subtlety through this.
That's
movie.
true.
That's true. Yeah.
It was just, and it was more. And I don't
Shane
know that
Black,
I don't
man.
know that I hated it for this, but
Really?
I don't know that I hated it for this reason, but the. I'm lost now. Great.
You don't know if you hated it for this reason.
I don't know if I hated it for this reason.
Because it's lack of subtlety, but
all right.
Tell us in the subtlest
role
way
in
you
the
In the
show.
subtlest way that you can. Man, I totally lost my train of thought.
but the subtlety is not so subtle.
How about this? I'll go to my Mandarin problem. My Mandarin problem was my biggest problem with it because I kind of stayed away from trailers as much as I could with this one.
Right.
But I was very aware that Mandarin was being touted as the main villain, and man, I was so.
And the trailer made him look awesome.
And the first act of the film did too.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen it, sorry, spoilers. The reveal. Was,
I think you could say it now, like if you wanted to just talk about it.
I guess with the reveal of the Mandarin.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
We said it like 5 times.
Yeah,
so
skip
if you're
ahead
still
like
listening,
3 minutes if you don't want to hear this.
Right. The reveal of the Mandarin is that he is an actor portraying a role, but as a fan of the comics and a fan of the Mandarin, I was really excited.
They shouldn't have made him so cool in the preview.
I was really right. He looks. I mean, really.
I was really.
He should have been shaking his fist in the air. I'll get you, Iron Man.
They totally play him up as like the types of villains that you've seen in the past couple of years.
Man, he was totally
almost like a Dark Knight villain.
Osama bin Kingsley.
But like his voice, his voice in the film was very, I talk with a really weird voice like other villains in other movies, and I'm going to be really awesome. And you think he's going to be really awesome.
I was just ready for that fight with the rings, man. Exactly.
It was very Dr. Claw.
It was rather Dr. Claw
from the movie.
But the reveal, and I'll give them credit where it's due. For the layman, for the people that aren't into the comics and into that character,
right here,
it's a funny reveal.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's a clever reveal, but man, I was really banking on that fight.
I was excited he was banging 2 chicks.
Yeah, that's exciting.
But Ben Kingsley plays it off really well.
Ben's
too.
Awesome.
He when he did flip around. But here's the thing. Just think about this for a sec. So I know a lot of the stuff Shane Black has said about the character himself being kind of a racial stereotype and that type of thing. Like, I get that. So instead, you have an English guy coming in and playing a racial stereotype. So like,
what's worse?
I'm sorry, is that better?
Yeah.
What you did, I don't know if it was more culturally sensitive.
And I've heard a lot of people, other podcasts actually, say something to the effect of, well, they're magic rings, and no, they're tech. They've always been tech. Official Handbook to the Marvel Universe, for you nerds out there, back in like 86, 87, had schematics for each of the rings, and it stuck with me that they were always tech. It was just Oriental tech. Is that racist?
Asian American.
I'm not going to make any jokes.
I heard it is, but there's a store called Oriental Trading, so I'll allow it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
But Oriental Trading, where I trade all my Orientals.
Oh, God.
But actually,
now we're going to have to slap the explicit tag on this one.
Marvel Card Series 2 had the weapon cards, and that was another one that explained the.
So if they were, but the guy was dismissing it like, oh, they were magic, so I get why they didn't put it in, and that was what made me most furious. Was like, if they're tech, they totally still fit in the world. But I was ready to see him like hit him with a cold blast, hit him with fire. It could have been so epic. And to be fair, the last fight in Iron Man 3, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's where the subtlety came in. Was just because you can do a lot of something doesn't necessarily mean that that's what we want or what we need. Like it maybe I'm just old, but it took my brain a while to process everything that was going on. There was just so much happening, and I'm just. About half as many would have been nice.
I get that. It was like, we got to save Pepper. Oh, wait, we got to save the president, but we got to defeat this dude.
Oh, back to my original thought. The thing
5 minutes ago
with the subtlety, the thing that didn't necessarily take me out of it was that it was more. It played more super spy than superhero. Yeah. Like the whole aesthetic of the film was more super spy to me than superhero. And it was weird. Like half the time he wasn't even in the armor, which kind of
I enjoyed that aspect of it. Now.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they did. Like it was.
I've seen 2 movies
Tony
in
Stark,
the armor.
More of a chance to shine as a character rather than.
It's weird. I'm not going to see a movie called Tony Stark. I'm going to see Iron Man.
But to be fair, a lot of people are. A lot of people are going to see Robert Downey Jr. play Tony Stark more than they were seeing the armor. I mean, a lot of people.
And the end, not that the end wasn't fantastic with Ruffalo. That was spoiler number 2.
Yeah, spoiler number 2.
Awesome. That was great. But them blowing up, like him detonating all of his armors, which I thought was just like, why on earth would you do that? Other than for the big firework finish, which was just kind of aesthetic.
They didn't build it up even like she was like, I really wish at some point you'd just blow up those armors.
Yeah, it just didn't make any
sense. It would
sense.
make me feel so much better.
Your Gwyneth Paltrow impression is spot on.
It is. It really is.
Oh my goodness.
Can we just establish this now? I'm known for my bad impressions.
I was about to ask Nick, how did you get Gwen to come on? That's so awesome.
Before I forgot, what was your opinion of the little run?
Oh,
You know
come
what?
on.
It could have.
Here we go.
The kid could have gone a lot worse, but I felt that he was completely unnecessary. I always
two for
get,
kid, two against kid.
Yeah,
I
that's
always
true.
get a little skittish when kids are brought in as kind of
Right.
sub characters. It could have been a lot worse. The kid acted pretty good. There was a lot of fun banter back and forth with them,
Right.
but as a whole, I could have done without it. As a whole,
Fair enough.
yeah, no.
So, who's seen Star Trek so far?
Oh man,
I saw it.
I have
Todd's
not
seen-
yet. So 2 of us have, 2 of us haven't. So stay clear of spoilers, please.
I sure did.
You can spoil.
What,
I don't know
well, what
anything
do
about
you
No,
just in
that's
general?
that's not this podcast, sir. What did I think of it?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it. I'm a huge proponent of the 2009 reboot. I
Cool.
loved it. I just love it. There's a lot of people that are uneasy with some of the choices that are made this time around.
I like those choices.
I did too, man. I literally, and I'm an emotional guy. I was in tears for half the movie because I was so in, man. And you've got
I
some.
got a little choked up during that one particular.
Right.
Yeah,
I know what
this
you're
is so
talking
tough.
about.
I hate this.
I know, it's so
It's
hard.
like a podcast, and everyone who's watched
It's
the
funny,
movie
and
knows
any-
exactly what they're
Oh,
saying.
yeah,
right now.
definitely.
Yeah, anybody who's listening
This
right
is
now
just for
knows
all
exactly
you
what
Star
we're
Trek
talking
fans out there.
Yeah, they know.
That's right. Oh man,
awesome.
it's well worth your time. End of
Yes,
non-spoilers.
yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit, and with my only thing that I will just generally say, which I already told you, but just that the music ruined something for me.
I
Did
heard
it?
that.
Yeah,
The music.
yeah, the
something?
music because
Nick had said it was a spoiler
it was
for him.
yeah, it was
You figured-
reminiscent of something.
Oh
from,
yeah. I know exactly.
And then
exactly.
so
what
when
you
I
mean.
heard it, I was like, well, wait, does that? And then
It's funny that you say that. I've heard other people say that, but it didn't do that to me. I know the piece that you're talking about now.
Yeah.
But at the time, I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
But man, it works
So
out.
my
very
only
well.
note.
Me and Matt have been having a staring contest this whole time.
So you guys know nothing about it yet?
No, I haven't read anything yet because I actually do. We were going to see it this weekend and things just didn't work out
It's
that
so
way.
much fun.
My knowledge of Star Trek is that the guy who played
Here we go.
Captain Patrick or whatever, the main
Aw,
guy from when that he
you're
was
so cute.
Captain Patrick.
Captain
he was one
Patrick.
of the voices of
Go
the guy
on.
in Elder Scrolls 4.
Matt,
Patrick
guess
Stewart.
what? Guess what?
Gotcha.
You're out again.
And Data's in it. And Data from Goonies is in it.
Data from
He's
Goonies.
an android. And he's like, oh, reboot me.
I love our podcast
did
so
say-
much.
I just want to go to that wall and start yelling.
I do like the Borg, though. I think Borgs are cool. Thank
All
you.
right.
I
See,
know-
you just
I know-
saved it.
I know that much.
Borgs are cool.
Whatever happens,
T-shirt.
I love the Borg.
T-shirt. Borgs are cool.
Borgs are cool. That's true.
Hey, that's like a play
two
on
Borg
words.
to be cool.
All right, so what else we got?
Two Borgs don't make a right.
So up and coming.
So in summation, go see Star Trek.
Yes, go see Star Trek. Highly recommend. You will at least enjoy it. If not, love it.
Yeah. If not, we're gonna do a Jamie Day on you.
Yeah, exactly. We will make you watch
We're gonna make you watch
all of the Indiana Jones movies.
Oh man.
Over and over and over again.
Shirtless.
Even more Superman
Wow.
trailers recently.
Yes,
since
that's
since Star
what's
Trek.
coming up next. Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm curious about with Superman? What,
Is there gonna be any action in this version?
And what if
Is
there's
there
going to
going to
be
be any action in this
Yeah,
version?
I'm hoping for a fight scene. But more
That'd
than
be
that,
good.
when she's like, "Oh, is that an S on your chest?" He's like, "No, it's a symbol of hope." I'm like,
It's not an S.
that wasn't S for as long as I can remember. What are they trying to do to it now?
It's a Kryptonian symbol.
It is a Kryptonian
I mean, I'm
symbol.
assuming
it's a
that-
Kryptonian symbol for the House of L, right?
It is. It's been established in the books
okay.
that it's.
This is where I just back away from the mic and
It
let
just
you
happens
guys.
to look like
It looks
an
an
S.
awful lot like an
Look
S.
at an awful lot
I'm not a
like an
Superman
S.
fan.
No?
No, I saw the movie where he fought the dude from The Sun, the really handsome guy
That'll-
in the
that'll
black
ruin
wardrobe,
it.
and
That'll put anybody off of
that-
Superman, sir.
that
No,
is- that's my
The
experience.
nuclear man.
I
That
haven't seen
one?
Superman
That's the
4. I
only-
haven't really been into
That's
him.
the only one that
But I
I've
don't know if
seen.
that was
I don't know
cool.
I just
anything else.
assumed that was a
Which
Mighty
is
Ducks
weird because
sequel.
that is
That was
the
a
pinnacle of
Superman.
Superman. Come on, he's got that big bag full of nuclear weapons that he throws into the sun. Come on,
Yes.
that's
awesome.
as good as Superman gets, man.
Now, is
That's
that the
it.
one where
That's
he
it for
flew
me.
around the Earth and
No,
made
that
time?
was-
That
Where
was
the guys get the
nuclear
Was it Richard Pryor in one of those?
Richard Pryor was
the
in
blonde
3.
dude with
yeah,
the
with the fingernail.
Yeah, that dude was awesome. You know?
No,
It
don't
was
do it.
definitely,
Don't do
He's
it.
like scratching him, and it's like,
Definitely had a
Don't do
poster
it.
of
And he
that.
follows him in space, and
Hey,
this
wait
guy
a
like
sec, wait a
floats there
sec.
for a while.
Do you think you guys remember the Lost Boys?
Hell yeah.
Do you think that was the dude that was playing
The
saxophone
Schumacher
shirtless?
epic, The Lost Boys.
Yeah, but it wasn't the dude that was playing saxophone shirtless.
Right.
Do you remember that guy?
Sure.
Are those the same guys?
As Nuclear Man?
Yeah.
Of all the
do you
characters
think-
to pull
do you
out, the
think-
dude
That's your
playing
next.
the
That's your next
saxophone
Photoshop.
shirt.
That's going to be Nick's
If-
sound
if
bit.
it's not-
Hey, you guys remember the blonde
If
guy
those-
with long nails who's playing the
If
saxophone
they aren't
shirtless?
the same guy, there needs to be. You
Yeah.
need to
We've
Photoshop
got
a
to
new
do
poster.
side-by-side
Oh,
comparisons.
man! No,
Okay,
it needs
I'm-
to be like
The
epic
official
kind
Played
of-
Out podcast T-shirts.
Yes, it'll
There
be
it
those
is,
two
there it
guys
is.
side by side.
Oh, wow.
That's
There it
awesome.
is. There it is.
Oh man, does that mean that we get to pose for a Superman 4
shoot.
redo
Yes.
poster?
He
Yeah,
gets
we
to be
do.
the shirtless blonde guy.
I'll be Richard Pryor.
Oh my God!
You'll
you're
be, okay, you'll be Richard
such
Pryor.
Richard
Who is
Pryor.
Lex
I'll
Luthor?
get you a marker.
Yeah.
I'm kind of Lexi. Well, God, we're mostly.
So,
Yeah, most of us
okay, so
Lexi.
what are you guys looking forward to
with
in Superman?
well, with Superman,
I love Zod, by the way.
man, it looks good.
is it known that Zod's going to be in this?
Zod,
Oh, yeah.
Zod is absolutely
He's
100% in it.
predominantly,
He's
featured.
played by
Okay.
Michael Shannon, who's
Yeah.
from Boardwalk Empire. Is Ice? I think is Ice. Is it Iceman? His other movie.
I think it's Ice Ice Baby, actually.
Ice Ice Baby. Could be Ice Ice Baby.
It's a
But he's
documentary of...
man, he's got the crazy
films.
eyes, and he's killer character actor. So if you're gonna fill Terrence Stamp's shoes, get somebody in there that's
Zod's
crazy.
a strong villain, too. I mean, because he can actually go toe-to-toe with Superman. Like,
For
Lex
real.
is cool because it's the more of an intellectual
And
thing.
they've not to use this strangely, but they've played out Lex
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
Lex just they just
You have
throw
to
him into
establish
everything.
Superman's other villains, and he
For
does
real.
actually have some.
And there's not. That's more a brains versus a brawn villain
Right.
with Lex.
Right.
I want like a 10-story Metallo that's tearing ass through Metropolis, and he has to
Right.
wipe up the floor with him.
And that's what the comic book is. The comic book is he's always battling something, and then Lex Luthor's doing something.
Yeah, he's always kind of the
underneath
guy
the scene.
behind the guy.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the Lex Luthor that I like.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the weird land baron that's always with a real estate deal. Next time.
Perfect Gene Hackman impression.
No, I mean, yeah, it's perfect without
Well,
question.
Lex Luthor's one of those interesting characters because he's actually gone. If you look from the Golden Age on, he's actually had a lot of different
He has
types of
a lot
Lex
of
Luthors
incarnations
out there.
when he was reintroduced in the '80s as the what is it the,
He's almost like
the
Kingpin
billionaire
type of deal.
mogul
almost, you
So
know.
Michael Clark Duncan played him as well.
oh yeah. Michael Clark Duncan should play everyone.
I always thought it was neat when they brought
Michael
back.
Clark Duncan as Superman.
I always thought it was neat
In our
when they
heart of
brought
hearts,
back
he can now.
the Lex Luthor had lived in Smallville as a child. I always thought that was interesting when they brought that back.
Right. Yes. And Michael Rosenbaum. What's up, Michael Rosenbaum?
Right.
We
Oh,
love
yeah,
Mike-
yeah, exactly. I wasn't talking so much the Smallville television show. I meant when they
weren't
brought
you,
them.
Brandon.
I have
Weren't
maybe
you?
seen that once, maybe.
Okay, before we get
I've seen
too
all
much
of them,
into the
I'm sorry.
CW shows, because I will start talking about Vampire Diaries.
Oh man,
How do we feel about World War Z?
I'm very excited.
I have
I'm
no idea what's going on in that trailer.
I'm always into a new take on zombies and the whole pandemic kind of thing. Post-apocalyptic kind of
As long as it's somewhat scary, but there's a lot of action, I'll be good.
Dude, how can you not be scared of literally a wave of zombies coming at you?
Well, they can throw in some really unnecessary comedy and just completely ruin the whole film.
Oh,
and
sure.
that's what I'm worried
It
about.
doesn't look like that's what they're going to do.
But they're
I
not
don't
going to
think
show
so.
it. They're going to be in there. They're going to pull Transformers. And be like, oh, he's
Matt's
got balls hanging
biggest
from
fear in
underneath
life,
him, you know,
every
and
time he
it's
goes to the
just
movie, it's like, oh, they're
It's
going to
just
pull the
gonna be a-
Transformers.
What are
every
you
single
doing in
movie.
there? You playing with yourself again? Let's smoke some pot.
It doesn't
the-
belong in Transformers.
Get the giant Bernie Mac out. Like,
Today is like the day of impressions. That was pretty badass.
I felt much
That
better
was-
about my
yeah.
impressions after Matt had done that.
So anyway, that's what I'm worried about. I like zombie movies. I've seen most of them that have come out,
Yeah.
and I'm a Brad Pitt fan. So I think
see, me too. I think he gets a lot of crap, and I think he's great.
He's solid.
he's in the
Yeah, he's
Ocean's
solid
movies.
at this
That's all you need to see him
For
in.
real.
Oceans for win. You know what I mean?
He's
up.
Yeah, true romance.
Matt Tuchel Heimerl chiming in.
Yeah. So
I'm also excited about it, and the way that the zombies, the the wave, the way that it moves, actually does kind of like
they
freak
build
me out.
a ladder
in
of
some ways.
themselves up to a helicopter. Like that's the most apeshit thing I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
Like the last scene in the plane in one of the previews that they show, like legitimately freaks me out because like just the idea of like just an onrushing, like there's nothing that can stop them at
Like
they're
them,
not
like them
this
pushing the wave hitting the bus and the bus just kind of rolling over. It's so cool.
That
It's gonna have to do
that's
a
pretty
review. We'll have
freaky.
to go see it.
And I'm indifferent about it.
Yeah.
Well, we know you don't like
I
zombies.
hope it's good.
It's true.
I hope it's good. It
Except
looks like
I
it
watch
might be
Walking
all right.
Dead pretty religiously, but I'm not a big zombie fan.
You can hold
Kinda
my
freaks
knee
me
in the
out.
movies.
Fortunately for me, Walking Dead doesn't have too many zombies in it.
All right, Brandon's getting belligerent. We need to move on.
I'm sorry.
The Wolverine. How do we feel about the Wolverine?
I'm on the fence about Wolverine right now. I'm not 100% sold. I just saw, I guess, the newest trailer that's got the shots of the Silver Samurai in it. So I'm at least excited
that's
to
cool.
see. I'm at least excited to see him
Yeah.
play out. But I don't know.
After Origins,
It can't get worse.
Yeah.
I guess.
As long as he
So-
stabs someone in the face, I'll be happy.
Oh, all right.
but he did that in Origins and wasn't that good.
Yeah.
It's all I need.
Here's my point for this one, which is Origins was like they were trying to straddle this weird line, I think, between like kids and adults.
Right.
And this one looks like they actually are just like going for the more adult tone. Like,
Yeah. And that might save it.
Yeah.
That might be.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have two questions about it though. The chick that's in it,
Yes.
is that a love interest or is that a separate character?
I don't know. I don't know how.
Lady Deathstrike, is that her name?
He's got a lot of
Or
girlfriends,
is it-
by the way. Wolverine's got
No,
a lot of girlfriends.
Deathstrike was Kelly Hu. Deathstrike showed
Yeah.
up in the. She
That's
was the
been
one with the
done.
long fingers. Yeah, she
I
did
just
her
thought
right.
I'd made that up, so I'm very happy that I actually
I
do.
don't.
You
I
remembered.
don't know that the younger girl in this the kind of assassin-looking girl is anybody that's established. I don't know that she. I think that she's just. I get the feeling that she's just somebody that was made up for the movie.
Okay, that's why I wasn't sure. It looked like she goes apeshit at points. I was like, ooh, she could be.
I do think that Logan's love interest. I think her name is Yukio or
Yukio is the
Yuriko.
young
Yuriko.
assassin.
Is that it?
think it's
And
Yuriko.
Muriko.
Muriko.
Yeah, Yukio is the girl from Karate Kid Part 2.
And Yu-Gi-Oh is the collectible card game.
That's right.
That's right.
And Miyagi is my
I
father.
think that the girl that's in this is the collectible card game.
I love it.
I think that's true.
That could be right. No, I think the love interest is in there. I don't know her fate, but I am anxious at least to see Silver Samurai in action.
And this is a prequel, right? To his story?
I know. I think we're back up to date now. Again,
back up to
I
date.
think
this is
we're back.
This is after the third
This would be after
X-Men
the
movie.
third X-Men movie, I believe.
I think it
goes on
is.
his own?
I
Okay.
think it is.
Oh, I just remembered Silver
I
Samurai.
love how he just came to this realization by himself.
Well,
over in the
wait,
corner.
maybe. Hang on.
What
Correct
are-
me if I'm wrong. Isn't Silver Samurai another Weapon X?
No,
He wasn't part of the Weapon X
No.
project? Who am I thinking of?
but he is.
You're thinking of Silver Samurai.
Oh.
No, Silver Surfer.
No, he is
No,
also
no,
not
no.
Weapon X.
Why am I talking
help me out.
comics?
Who are the Weapon X's? And
Weapon X's. There's
X-23.
Wolverine. There's Deadpool. There's Sabretooth. There's X-23. There's
maybe I'm
Phantom
thinking
X,
X-23. Does he have a sword?
Take it away,
X-23 is
take
a
it away
chick.
Brandon Specht.
is the girl from
there's-
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Why
It's a
would
real
I
quick
think that
chick.
it's Silver Samurai?
Real nice legs.
I don't know that there's any.
Firm.
All right, all
And
right.
he's exactly what he sounds like too. He's just
But you got a chance to see me
a big
go
samurai
through.
in full silver armor.
No, I remember him from the game. I just thought I remembered in one of the Wolverine comic books I had where Wolverine goes to some old facility and he's like there and they have to fight.
Oh, you're thinking Shiva, the robot.
Shiva,
the robot.
yes.
Thank you. That was me.
Nice. How did you know that?
I just know him. Shiva was a robot character
A robot.
who had to go out and like if there was like hey we have to terminate like a Weapon X character
Oh.
like, we'll send that robot because apparently Sentinels weren't enough.
Okay,
And
that
there we
makes
are.
sense. Okay, all right, cool.
That's
feel
another
very
point
out
for
of
me
place.
today. That's
Yeah,
2 points
Brandon
for me
is
total.
winning right now. What about Pacific Rim? How do we feel?
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm giant kaiju
Rim job.
and robots. And,
I was gonna make
yeah.
that joke for a second.
You know what I saw?
Pacific Rim job.
I saw
Last
the
word.
trailer for Atlantic Rim. You know how they do how that company that does the really cheap knockoffs, the timely
Oh, nice,
knockoffs.
nice.
They are doing one called Atlantic Rim, and it is so unashamed of what it is. Like it's literally like stealing, like where it's got the shots of the robots getting dropped into the ocean and they have that like that kind of drop motion.
Yeah.
Same exact kind of thing. It looks so cheap. Look it up, YouTube it.
Yeah.
Atlantic Rim. But yeah, Pacific Rim. I'm in, man. Guillermo del
as
Toro
well.
doing giant monsters and robots and
Yeah,
and,
don't tell my wife I'm
and
into that.
Charlie Hunnam. He's dreamy,
Reminds me of the
Charlie.
King of the
Hunnam.
Monsters game for Genesis.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited about it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm also excited
to my
about it, but
childhood.
it was one of those things, like, when we saw the preview, I was like, oh my gosh, I really shouldn't want to see this, but I really want to see
Then
this.
again, if they
and then my
keep
wife was
humor-
like, oh my gosh, what was that? I'm like, I know, right?
You ain't seeing that this time.
You sold it
I
out.
didn't
My
know
Marcy
Marcy was
impression.
here.
My Marcy impression.
Wow.
There it is.
Man,
She sounds so much like
it's
that,
like
too.
she's really here.
I know.
That was amazing.
Keep the humor out, it'll be good. Throw humor in, it'll suck.
Dude,
Done.
that robot uses a freaking tanker as a sword.
So just
That's
as
so
a general,
cool.
I just want to clarify this. As a life rule, you just want to avoid laughter as much as possible.
Well, no, I mean, like, don't be like hit him, be like, that's gotta hurt. You know, like something stupid, like Independence Day, welcome to Earth, or
So
you know,
yeah, Matt,
they-
would it be fair to say that you want them to suffer?
Yes. I want everybody to suffer. I want them to cry. I want there to be pain. I want there to be like.
But according
All
to the
human
Matt
suffering.
rules,
Copyright Jamie Day.
according to the Matt rules, if there's comedy in the movie that could potentially ruin it, does it get kind of redeemed by someone stabbing someone in the face?
As long as there's no laughter during it, yes.
But wait.
Yes.
What if it's Joker?
What movies have laughter while someone's stabbing someone
if
else
it's
in
like
the face?
maniacal laughter,
Joker?
I'll allow it. The only way a movie can redeem itself, like fully in my eyes, is somebody getting their heart ripped out through their ass.
Wow.
That is how you redeem yourself.
That
in my
escalated
eyes.
quickly.
So basically, like, I mean, if you think, you know,
I feel like you have a list
Independence
somewhere.
Day, you know, anywhere, you're just like, by the end, this is for Matt, and at the end, some dude's heart's getting ripped out.
The
through
people
that,
who
like-
are listening can't see, but Matt actually took out like a piece of paper with all
Yeah,
the different
there's a-
scenarios. What makes a good movie?
There is a chart.
I'm very,
It's a chart.
I'm
And
very
it-
picky.
and
So
it's
this is where we
very-
are here.
Jamie Day and I would get along. We're both
If you,
very picky.
if you look here
Yeah.
and here, you'll see the.
You'll see here if they
What makes good movie?
Matt, did you actually do a charcoal sketching of the asshole, of the heart being pulled out of the asshole?
Yes, it is. It's on my website, mattdoestentacles.com.
That's going to be in every podcast thing, isn't it?
Charcoalasshole.com.
That's right.
And on that note, Kick-Ass 2. What do you think?
I think it looks awesome.
I think it'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think it's it's gonna be all right.
It's got a badass Captain America style character, and I'll allow it.
the first one,
Like an evil version, yeah.
The first one I liked about half. I liked about half of it. Like the half that they got
Like
right,
all the
they got
scenes
real
with
right.
Hit Girl in it?
Well, I thought yes. Anybody who knows me knows I love me some Chloe Moretz, and it's sad because it's weird because the
she's
older
done
she
one
gets,
movie.
the less I kind of like her, which is
Oh,
weird.
no, I like her. She was
like-
badass in 30 Rock.
She's yeah, and she's great, and she's sweet.
Never saw it.
Here's the thing. With the first one, my main issue was I don't know if anybody's read the comics, and spoiler alerts if you haven't.
Yeah, I have. That's what I'm worried about.
Well, my main issue with the movie was that they cut out what I felt was the heart of Nick Cage's character, which was that briefcase. Because when I just kept waiting for it in the movie, like, oh, there's the case, he's going to open the case, and they never open the case. And in the case, what's the big reveal? The big reveal is, spoiler alert again, is that he's been selling his comics, his like Silver and Golden Age comic collection, to kind of fund their fight against crime.
Wow, that's cool.
And it was this really kind of awesome moment where you're wondering through the book, like, what's in that case?
Right.
Whatever's in that case has got to be awesome.
Just
And
like Pulp Fiction.
and it's his comic book collection that he's been selling, and they totally gloss over that. It's not even a thing which I thought was the heart of not only his story, but I thought the whole the whole thing.
Why is that a big deal, though, him selling his comic book collection?
It just spoke to the kind of person that he was. It just meant a lot to me in the comics, but it doesn't play out that way in the movie.
I mean, like, it didn't feel, it was just like, okay, like, do they mention, like, in the comic that he is, like, a comic book fan? Or is it just like, oh, by the way, he's selling comics? You're just like, oh, I didn't know he read comics. Like, did it seem out of place?
They
or?
don't, not really. No,
Okay.
no. In the movie, it's not even a thing. So I don't know. It just disappointed me that it wasn't in there. Made me sad.
I'll give you that.
So that said, Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
kind of an interesting addition to the cast.
And from the trailer I've seen, he looks
He looks
like
it looks like it's
going to
be a lot of
as
fun.
well.
Yeah.
And brutal. Give me some brutal.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of worried about. In Kick-Ass 2, there's spoilers. There's like rape in it, which I'm
man.
not really down with.
Oh man, I love
Like,
rape.
on the well, I've been to your house. So I know what's up.
See,
What's going
and
down is
and
not
that's
like
why
me.
you brought me onto this show, because we can have differing opinions.
I have to bleep so much of this episode, you guys.
This is where we're starting.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
imagine
Well,
where
wait,
this
what
will
age
wind
group
up.
are we talking?
No, it's fine. I'm just gonna bleep just to save us all the trouble. Just your name, your actual full name.
Just any part where you're
Anything-
speaking,
yes,
Todd.
Yeah,
change
that's
my
the
name
only
to
reason I'm
Pocahontas?
hesitant to see it, but otherwise I'm excited about it. What about Thor: Dark World?
And none of
Is
them-
there any rape in Thor: The Dark World?
No, but I think that
First
there
off, they're
is going to
Vikings,
be.
okay?
It does.
Let's establish that right now.
So yes, clearly. I'm really excited. I think it looks. Of the Phase 1 Marvel movies, Thor was the one I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Agreed.
I felt that there was more Earthbound stuff than there needed to be. I understand for production's sake why they focused a lot on more Earthbound stuff because it's a little
our Japanese friends,
it's a
it's
little
considered
cheaper
mother.
to film in
Yeah.
Kentucky,
Yeah, fair enough.
than Asgard. But that said, I think the new one looks pretty cool. Like they're kind of pulling out some stops
It
and
looks like they're spending most of the time on Asgard, which is good.
most of their time and their money.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about Thor, other than he has a hammer.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, this movie has
Yeah,
what
drops
you're
the
looking
hammer.
for,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
he does.
basically no humor and some dude just going apeshit slaughtering stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't have humor, which is cool, but it does have
Well,
Natalie
they
Portman in
had
it.
Kat Dennings for a couple of
Oh,
which.
man.
Now, see, normally I have no
Kat
problem
Dennings.
with like humor injections into movies, but in that particular case, it was like I could do without you. I like you in everything you're in, but not this particular movie.
Natalie Portman was good in Black Swan.
Cat, if you're listening,
She's
that's where we're
not,
at.
and she never will.
I love you.
Wait, all right. So moving on to Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters.
Oh
God, I
man,
don't know what the hell
you
that
know
is.
I'm ready for Percy Jackson.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay,
either.
here's the thing.
Nick,
This
it's
is-
all you.
I
Okay,
was-
everybody
no,
put
no,
your mics off.
I was just
Turn your
curious.
mics off.
I was just curious because I saw Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief back like when it first came out.
Was
And I
that
like,
the
oh,
first one?
I think it. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is just some kids movie, whatever. And then I watched it and I was like, oh no, this is like definitely for a younger crowd, but it's like a
Yeah.
really well.
I
it's
heard
a-
it was actually okay.
Yeah, it was
I
a-
haven't seen it, but I
It
heard
was
it was
middle
okay.
school.
It was
So I'm
they
aware of the
started,
film.
it started as a book series, right? Like Harry Potter.
Yes.
Like, that's
And
what-
actually, the books are pretty good too. I got them on audiobook.
Does One Direction do the soundtrack?
They should. I heard,
Sorry,
you know what? I heard it's going to be
Bazing.
one. It's going
Are
to be
there-
One Direction.
Are there Trapper Keeper folders with pictures of Percy Jackson on them?
There very well could be, but I definitely
Sorry.
don't have all of them.
There's where your money is, right there. Trapper Keeper folders.
Trapper Keepers, man.
Trapper Keepers.
That's how I survived in school.
Man, those
Is that where this
like the
podcast is
time,
going?
like the
Yeah.
times tables that they put in there.
brain
Man, that
just
was
leaked out of my
essential.
ears.
Life
For a second.
saver.
Life
So
saver.
none of you guys have seen the first Percy Jackson movie,
No,
though?
No,
but
sir.
we all agree that Trapper Keepers are cool.
we
Okay.
we
So Percy Jackson, no. Trapper Keepers, yes. What about you guys? Remember the slap bracelets?
Oh,
Sure.
dude, that was my shit growing up.
That
I used
was
to put-
really cool
I used to
until they
put it on my
started-
ankles and everything. I was
Yeah.
like the king.
It was
of,
cool
of
until
the
they started
Catholic
getting
school.
worn and started slicing my wrists up, and that was not cool.
And then the guidance counselor pulls you in for a talk, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Brandon, are you having trouble
But she was
at
hot,
home?"
so that was cool.
See,
So it went up and down. It was like, no, this is not cool. Now this is cool. Again.
Interesting story about the slap bracelets. In Catholic school, we couldn't wear them, so we had to wear long sleeves to cover them. But at lunchtime, we would all go in the corner and roll our sleeves up. And if somebody walked up to you and slapped their bracelet on yours, they liked you and wanted to trade with you.
Boom.
So that's how you would trade. So there was no talking. Just like, Ksh, yeah, you know what's up. Trade it out.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
We did similar thing with Pogs, but slap bracelets were really the shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
I agree.
That's
How old were you?
that's kind of sweet.
I
He
was 31.
15.
I was 31.
Pogs were the shit,
That was,
but
this
the slap
morning.
bracelets were really the shit. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
That was probably 8, 9 years old.
Pogs are one of those things where you're like, yeah, I'm totally going to play with Pogs, and then like a month later, you just got like stacks of Pogs in your room and all
your
those.
fingers
Dude,
hurt.
if you
Yeah,
got good
and
at Pogs, though, you would run some shit. I mean,
Yeah.
people were just like, bam, flipping like everything at once. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa! It was totally 90s Turtles.
Well, I wish we'd been filming this. 'Cause
Yeah,
this
you
is
should-
literally the 1990s Pogs commercial. Flipping shit. Just a close up of his face. Whoa, Pogs are amazing.
Well, I used to go,
Flip it.
it was always a toss-up. I used to go to Brian's Sport Cars in Marsville, and it was either, okay, do I get Magic Cards, do I get Pogs? And I was like, holy shit, I got a double-decker Pog. This shit's badass. It was like $6, and I brought it to school, and all the chicks were like, oh, you're so fly. And I was like, what's good, mama? And
Give me your snap bracelets now.
Give me that
slammer.
dude, I'd get back in the Pogs. Fuck that.
Oh God!
I'm bringing it back.
You've witnessed a life-altering
We're going to
event here
start
on
doing
Played Out
Pog nights
Podcast.
at ACME
Oh my
Superstore
gosh.
along with Bring Your
Oh,
Pog.
see?
We could single-handedly bring it back as a group. There's nothing we couldn't do with
Hey,
mine.
we're keeping
Through our-
retro gaming alive.
through
It is
our
retro.
sheer through our sheer hatred. Of,
Dude, I guarantee you. I guarantee
Percy
you, if you held a,
Jackson.
if you
Percy
held a
Jackson.
Take that,
Pogs,
Percy Jackson.
if you held a Pogs event here, I guarantee you.
I don't understand how the two are connected.
I did nothing to infer this anger. Why do you hate me so much?
Jackson.
Yeah,
Oh!
Pogs, in
Okay,
your face.
so are we just doing this as Trapper Keepers, slap bracelets, Pogs? So we're just bringing it all
and
back. Or are we
Percy Jackson.
focusing?
Pogs
We'll
for life,
focus on
baby.
Pogs
All
first.
inside of the
We'll
boob
focus
that
on
is
Pogs.
Percy Jackson.
We'll basically just start out with a pile of Percy Jackson Pogs and then just use
man.
the slammer on them and try to knock
Oh,
them
dude,
out.
that'd be awesome because it's like Sea of Monsters. You have like all
That-
these big ones that are all the monsters. Like, oh, take that, Percy's girlfriend and mom.
Boom, slut. Oh, no, you suck
Yep.
me. You don't get
That's
me.
the
No,
way it's going.
no, no.
Whoa!
Yep.
That's awesome, dude.
That's exactly
Dude,
right.
we're so hot with Pogs
So
out
for
here.
you,
Yep.
Pogs are now an effigy of characters.
Slammers.
It's a whole Pog commercial. We are going to officially be sponsored by Pogs.
Oh my God, you guys!
Dude, that would be amazing.
Oh my God, I'm going to contact the Pogs
Okay,
people.
I'm cool with doing a Pogs commercial.
Oh, we
can-
got to do a
can film
Pogs
this.
commercial.
I feel like
it's happening.
Here's what I just pictured. When I'm like, I'm going to call the Pogs people, and I just pictured myself picking up the phone, dialing, and then somewhere in like a padded room, just there's one guy rocking back and forth, and his
Waiting
phone
for the
rings.
phone call.
If we start every episode by saying sponsored by Pogs, eventually they'll have to actually sponsor us.
Or it's like a Willy Wonka thing. Like I call him up, and it's like, "Hi, my name's John Q. Pogs. I'm the president of Pogs. What can I do
Okay,
for
fine.
you
I'm gonna
today?"
do it. I do have a
the
Pogs.
president
I do have a
of
Pog
Pogs.
story. I'm gonna go for it.
Oh, yeah,
We had,
Pog
I had
story.
two different slammers. One was the bad boy slammer, which was remember the bad boy symbol. Where it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah.
So I had my bad boy slammer, but then I had the OJ in the slammer, which was OJ Simpson.
Wow.
It was big, but it had OJ Simpson and it had bars
Wow.
on one side, and then on the flip side it had OJ
Topical.
Simpson.
Topical Pogs.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it had OJ free. So if you hit it and it landed, he could be out of jail or in
my
jail.
God, he could be
depending on where it
after
landed.
you.
Now, see,
Story done.
See that doesn't look weird because I used to have the V Pog. Do you ever have that? It was the metal dot, the metal Pog, but it had finger indentation on it where you could hold it like a V.
nice.
And you
I do
would
remember
slam
that.
it like that. And man,
But did it have O.J. Simpson's
Dude, it
face?
would wreck some shit. No,
Yeah.
it had a huge penis on it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was it OJ Simpson's?
No, it wouldn't fit.
Brandon,
Some hog.
Brandon, I literally imagine the end of your story to be like, and if you left the Pog face up with OJ free after midnight, he would come alive and kill
that's
you.
right. That's right. I always found gloves
Like
under
I
my
thought
bed.
this was a cursed Pog story.
Wow.
Always finding gloves under my bed. It was really
It was
weird.
OJ in the bedroom with
So, Percy Jackson, huh?
Percy Jackson.
So, Percy
Jackson, we're sending OJ after
Who
you.
would have thought we went on that tangent from Percy Jackson?
Who knew?
I'm comfortable with it.
Nah.
I feel like it had to happen, and it couldn't have happened any other way.
I agree with it. I'm taking my shirt off.
So we've spent the entire time talking about movies, which is fine.
That's fine.
But so we've got a couple extra minutes. Do you guys want to close up with maybe talking about one other thing from our topics
You
here?
lead us, leader.
Well, that's like,
Leonardo.
was there anything particularly important to you in nerd world that happened over the last couple weeks?
Jeff Johns officially left Green Lantern.
That's not big.
That was pretty big.
It's big for that book.
Who
Yes.
was he? Because you did
He's
mention
a guy
this.
who's
He's
written
pretty
it for
much
a very long time.
established Green Lantern continuity for about the past.
He's made the character interesting again.
Yeah, he was the
And
whole
Sinestro even more interesting.
He was the whole pushing force behind the different colored lantern corps, and he's pretty much set the stage for Green Lantern continuity for the last eight or so years.
So that's kind of a big deal,
Quite a
so-
while. So yeah,
there in a
him
nutshell is
leaving
my,
is a big
my
deal.
pull list right there.
Au revoir, Johns.
Yeah.
You will be missed.
You will be missed even though you're writing like 7 other comic books.
Big thing for me was the Shield trailer.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Shield
Yeah.
trailer hit,
Yeah,
and
fair enough.
it looks phenomenal. It's going to be great, and it got me thinking. It got me thinking real hard about if it's handled correctly, and it's the Whedons. So I really think it will be.
Did you say it's the Whedon?
It's the Whedons.
Oh,
It's,
there's multiples?
Joss
Joss
and
and
Zach
Jet.
and Zebediah.
I didn't know there were multiple Whedons.
Zabadiah Williams, how are you doing?
But it's.
I don't know what's happening
I was
in
kind of
that
going
head
for an
right
Amish
now.
impression, but I kind of went elsewhere.
I think it's
feel so much
Marvel's
better.
shrewdest move yet. I think that they have a real opportunity here to use Shield as a platform for introducing a lot of C and D list characters that
Yes.
would never, ever, ever.
Are you calling Rage a C or D list character?
That's so funny.
Is
I was
that who we
thinking Luke
decided
Cage.
he is?
I don't know. That's what I've read.
Everybody
Everybody's
was saying
that.
Luke Cage, but everybody knows that
Luke Cage has the potential for a movie, so it's not going to be
everybody
Luke Cage.
knows that Terry Crews is the only
Oh,
real
yeah.
Luke Cage. He's the man. He's the man. But I mean, when you think about it, I mean, all the characters that they could put in there. Like Madrox the Multiple Man, or just all these
Yeah.
C-listers.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I love
That are
Madrox.
cheap to
Yes.
do.
Multiple Man is amazing.
Oh man, Multiple Man's great. But you could do all this stuff because it's essentially like a cop show in the Marvel universe, or a police procedural in the Marvel universe. So they have all these wonderful back doors to
Wonderful back doors.
Wonderful back doors. That's
I was so going to hit on that.
man.
yeah, you were.
You're going to hit on his wonderful back door.
And that's the noise he'll make.
That's where we're at.
So, I'm going to officially put out my casting call for Jewel State from Firefly, or Kaylee from Firefly, as Jessica Jones from Alias.
If that particular character's in it, I'd be very pleased. It
Man.
would fit perfectly.
Man, I'm so in. I'm so
But
ready.
then, if Luke Cage isn't in it, then that's kind of already...
Especially if he's shown like he is the first time we meet him.
Yes,
in
in Alias.
Yes.
Luke Cage is an Alias?
Which brings us back to
Alias,
the back door.
the comic book
not the
series,
show.
not the Jennifer Garner
Wait, so
show.
Luke Cage, because I seriously was
Luke
just,
Cage,
I just
Jennifer
pulled
Garner?
Luke Cage out of my ass. Like, he's actually possibly going to be in this?
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Luke,
Oh,
Cage,
wow.
Luke Cage
We
is
were talking
a
about
big
that, yeah.
player. Yeah,
Did not know that.
He is
Luke
a
Cage is
player.
a very cool character.
He's great,
Except
yeah.
for what he does to Jessica Jones. And,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
that's not uncool, I guess.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert for a comic book that was out.
In the first issue of the Marvel Max
How's he gonna
Alien
say
series,
this? How's
and
he
this
gonna
is
say this?
and this
Ready?
is let's
How is he
all
going to
watch
describe
Todd.
this? I'm sitting down and waiting.
When we first see Jessica Jones, by the way, is she's a private detective
Yeah.
in the Marvel universe,
She once was.
and it was the first of the Marvel Max line, so they were able to get away with
A lot.
language and content.
The R-rated comic
and
books.
the first time you see Luke Cage in this thing, you find out that they are
Intimate,
they're intimate,
but in
You
a
guys-
different kind of way.
Doggy style.
He's
in
a
the
drilling
butt.
her from behind.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Donkey
And-
punch?
In the comic book.
in the comic book.
No,
I
but
just-
where? Which?
In the back of a Volkswagen. No.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much more. I don't want to get too much. Strong facial expressions in that particular
right.
scene.
She is.
Well, she's in a tough spot because she once was a superhero.
So is he. Hi-yo.
Oh my! I can't. There's no way. No. But she was a superhero. She wasn't feeling very.
She was.
She didn't have a strong amount of confidence.
Right.
And
he
does have a strong amount of confidence.
He's got a strong something, that's for sure. Sweet Christmas.
I kind of want to see this
Christmas.
show now.
It's.
Read the book.
But I think Shield. Yeah, Alias is
They're
fantastic.
not going to do
by the way,
that
if you get a chance.
in the Shield television show. I promise you.
They
On
won't.
ABC, really?
Yeah, come on.
I promise you that it's not on HBO.
ABC.
Have you
known
seen
for
Pretty
its
Little
rear
Liars? They get away with some stuff now on ABC.
They do. Yeah.
I don't think they've gone so far as doing it in the butt yet, but there's always a first
And
time
that's
for
also
everything.
ABC Family, is it not?
The night is young.
All the places we've went on this podcast.
Man, this is a great one.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to edit later. When
It's like
6 hours
it's
into
like
it, like
4 minutes.
How many times did Todd say Oriental? Oh God.
God.
So how do you think Coulson
Asian.
came back? Because they did say
Okay,
that.
I have thoughts, but I want to hear what everybody else.
Yeah, what's your theory?
I have one
What
thought, too.
happened?
So Agent
Coulson
for
coming
those who don't know,
back.
Agent Coulson, a very beloved character from kind of the Marvel movies.
Spoiler alert.
Avengers,
Spoilers
who
in the first Avengers.
Plays a
he-
very significant part,
Right.
And if they change that, it would
He gets
take a lot
he
from
gets
the movie.
run through with a spear by our bad guy Loki.
Exactly.
and dies a heroic death.
And dies a heroic death, and
sets the motion to everything.
Right, and his death kind of solidifies, gels the group.
They need something to avenge.
Right, and they're avenging Mr. Coulson. So
Exactly.
it is revealed, at least in the trailer, and we've known this coming into it for a few months, that Greg Clark, is it Clark Gregg or Greg Clark?
I don't know.
Two first names. Very shady,
Coulson.
by the way. The guy playing Agent Coulson is returning as
will be
Agent
Agent
Coulson.
Coulson.
It is not a prequel.
Phil
it is
Coulson.
Phil Coulson. It is
Phil Coulson.
Oh, I'll Phil Coulson, all right.
Oh, God.
It's like, damn it, all I see is editing time. That he is coming back. This is a modern story, so this is after his after the death that we saw in Avengers. So, it's how's he coming back? Is it Was he an LMD? Was he a life model decoy? Was he? Was it all just hooey?
Here's what I'm hoping. Ready?
Tell me.
I'm hoping that the Coulson in the movie was in fact the real Coulson. I hope that they play it up as you eventually find out that the Phil Coulson in this is a life model.
Is an LMD?
I would like the character in the show to be the life model decoy.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like you're like, how is this guy back? How does he get back? And then maybe like towards the end of the season, like he gets like his arm blown off, and you really it's kind of like in the Aliens, you know, when you find out.
For the unwashed
totally.
masses, by the way, a life model decoy is kind of like it's an android. It's a
of a person
of a particular person. Like Nick Fury had them in droves. So
Nick Fury actually had one that became sentient in Secret Avengers, and he became a villain.
That's right.
Which is cool.
But yeah, like anytime, it kind of gave the writers the ability to horrifically destroy a character and then have him show up in the last
Just
panel or in the next
kidding.
issue like,
Life
oh
model
no, it's a
decoy.
life model decoy. But what makes me hopeful that it will be an LMD is in that same Avengers film, in the first act, there is a throwaway line that Tony Stark makes when he's faking his phone message that this is the life model decoy. So they hang the lantern that LMDs exist in that universe.
Yeah.
So I am hopeful that through that they will at least, it's an avenue that they could take. I don't know how he's coming back. I don't know.
I think they should take that and just take it a step up. And well, let me just put it this way: Cylon.
Well, there was
He's
talk
one
from
of the Cylon models.
the first theory that people had was that he was going to, and it was kind of fan speculation that he was going to come back in the next one as the Vision. That they were going to imprint Coulson's essence or whatever.
Yeah,
Which would be
he basically
interesting.
was a Cylon.
That would be cool, and that would play into your theory that if the current incarnation of Coulson is a robot, is an LMD,
which could be even more interesting because
he could gain that same sentience.
They confirmed in the film that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
That's right.
Oh, that'd be
So if you get Vision in there, you could have a robot.
I'm just saying.
Witch love track.
See, that'd be kind of cool, and what a cool reveal for like a season finale of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like Craig gets his, Coulson gets his face knocked off, and it's robot eye, Terminator eye.
Well, I'm thinking like in was it in Aliens? Yeah, it was in Aliens where you don't know that Ian Holmes' character was it Ian Holmes?
Yeah, I think it was.
You don't know it until
Bilbo
gets a chunk blast off.
That was in the first. That was an Alien.
Oh, Alien. I'm
yes.
sorry, Alien.
Yes.
I forget that
From
it's
then
not
on,
Alien 1, 2.
Lance Henriksen, and we all knew about Lance.
Yeah, he established himself.
He did the knife thing.
He did the knife thing.
Oh, that's right.
That is my impression of the knife thing.
That was beautiful.
Much
Brandon
better
actually
than
pulled out
my
a knife.
people impression. It's way better.
That was a good knife impression.
Thank you.
And that was Todd's impression of a cockroach tap dancing.
That's it. I got it. I got you covered.
Matt, what are you excited about in Nerd World this week?
I'm excited about the Xbox reveal. Xbox One was just announced yesterday.
Are they calling it the Next Box?
No.
Or is that just
That
what
would have
people
been
are
so
calling
much
it?
better.
Right?
It's Xbox One.
Xbox One.
It seems like it's a downgrade from
The
360.
names of these systems are just getting ridiculous. I thought Xbox 720 would have been a lot better than Xbox One. It looks. I mean, I'm excited because I like hearing the next gen systems.
What are the
and seeing what
specs?
they're going to do. Well, I don't know the exact specs, but it's going to be like
A mid-level gaming computer,
Yeah.
just like PlayStation 4.
But the problem is one, it's not going to be backwards compatible.
Hipsters.
So that's going to be a
Really?
big problem. Two, it's not going to let you play pre-owned games.
Yeah, that's a
so
big one.
therefore, they're potentially going to be putting a lot of places out of business.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to buy
everything's
new.
going to be downloaded.
Man, I think
It's going to work like old school computer games. You're going to have to put the disc in and then
put a
install it
code.
right to your hard drive.
wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna not.
Buy
They're
GameStop.
literally
See you later,
literally
GameStop.
going
A lot of people,
a decade
man.
backwards with this stuff.
But it's like it comes with the Kinect, and you
See you
can't
later,
run the
GameStop.
system
For
without
real,
the Kinect.
man. That's like a big deal. I would see people like casual gamers just not even bother.
Yeah.
Like just saying, why would I do that? Like because that seems to be like
games take up
that
space.
seems to be like the foundation of how a lot of people game. Like
Yeah.
through the used market.
Yeah.
It is. It's
Man,
true.
that's
Now, Brandon and I just
I mean,
went on a used
binge.
buying spree, which is the first games I
$60
bought
in
in
a day.
2
The thing
years.
is, the thing about also moving away from the pre-owned and going to strictly like streaming and downloadable is it's going to give independent labels a lot more room to go
Which is
and
cool.
actually get their titles
'Cause there's
out
some
there.
amazing independent games.
Yeah, because on PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, stuff like that, they're some of the most popular games.
Yeah.
So if that's what these people mainly focus on, that's going to be a big
that's the system
draw.
to do it on.
That's the system to do it on.
Yeah.
But I do not agree with not being able to. It's not going to be backwards compatible. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
If you can't play pre-owned games, at least let me play my old Xbox 360 games on the new system.
Here's what you got to remember too, Todd, is that like when it comes to pre-owned games, GameStop will charge it's going to be $3 or $5 less than a new game.
Oh, okay.
But the companies don't get any of that money. That all goes to GameStop.
Fair enough. No,
so for them, it's a natural thing.
I can totally see from their point of view why it's
Yeah.
essential for them to cut out that part of the market.
Yeah.
Man, I'm not like I've told you guys before. I'm not much of a gamer.
But you know gamers.
But I live with gamers. I know that they're not going to like that at all.
But I mean, you have to understand also, as well as PlayStation 4, Wii U, all the handhelds.
Yeah.
I mean, these stores are still going to be thriving off of
Yeah.
these
For
games.
a while
So it's
longer,
just
yeah.
one. But I mean, if this is the direction these new systems are going to be going in,
But I mean, that's the
these
way
stores
music
are gonna take
went.
Well, and it could,
movies are still moving in that direction.
Exactly.
a decision like that could go either way. It could either shape the future of
Yeah.
consoles, or it could be a horrible disaster. Like
Yeah.
if people just are like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah.
Here's,
Beep.
oh,
Beep.
that's a one F-bomb still cool in a PG-13 movie.
Yes.
That was our F-bomb for the evening.
There it is.
And I was actually.
Wait, is that a new competition?
Breakfast Club was wasn't it?
Who can drop the F-bomb?
Oh, man.
I think Breakfast Club was PG-13 or PG or something
PG-13,
crazy.
I believe.
But
That F-bomb brought to you by Acme
our friends
Superstore,
actually down in South Florida at the Pre-Rendered podcast, I was having a debate with one of their guys online. Well, not a debate, but a discussion. And I think I came to not the conclusion, but it's starting to form in my head that, like, at this point, it's so much cheaper to just build a high-quality gaming PC than to actually go out and buy a console.
Yeah, right.
And if it's all going this install route anyways, I mean, there's much better deals, it seems like, on Steam, which I'm a little new to, but Matt, you use quite a bit. And
but that's the other thing too, that a lot of these games for console stuff, idealistically, and we'll see if it happens, should start to drop in price. If they're being downloaded, you're not paying for all the package art, which I love package art, by the way. I still collect vinyl, so
Yeah.
The problem with having stuff mainly online, though, is that not everybody has high internet speed.
Sure.
So say a game comes out, I mean, the amount of time it takes to install a game now from a disc can take anywhere from like
right.
15 minutes to 30 minutes from installing from the disc. If you're downloading like a 30 gig game through a slow internet connection, you're not going to be able to play that game for like 2 days.
It seems so
it's
weird
true.
that slow internet speed is still a thing. Like, man, I just don't even imagine that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it exists. There are
me.
pros and cons to everything. I see why they're doing it, but I don't agree with it.
I think it's a terrible. What you're talking the.
It's change.
Yeah,
We'll see how it goes. It's change.
If we're still talking the no secondary games.
Your brain just like.
I just
we're at the end of our hour,
First of
we're
all,
all just crashing.
I can't imagine that working at all. I think it's going to be a terrible disaster. Like if you're cutting out a fundamental part of the culture of gaming.
Yeah.
And that's
true. That's fair enough.
Fair
enough. That's true.
The thing is also, I mean, if you buy a game and you install it in your system, it's like, hey, I'm going to take this over to my friend's house, and oh wait, I can't. I got to take my whole system over there to show them this game. So I can't just let them borrow. You can't let people borrow games anymore.
That's
so
true.
it's just
That's
just and see that doesn't
you're taking a rod up the ass.
that doesn't jive
There it
at
is
all.
again.
It doesn't jive.
No, he said rod up the ass. Adding gas is still acceptable. So the thing that I'm excited and I'm very sad about it, and this is a huge change of gears, but I have to mention it just because this has been a big part of my life for so long. Do any of you guys watch Saturday Night Live at all?
Sure.
I haven't watched it in a while, but I mean, obviously, I've been fans of multiple
I'd
seasons.
rather eat cat shit.
And
All right, we're going to turn your mic off. Four of their essentially tentpole characters.
Wig.
Well, Wig was last year.
Who I hate, by the
Did
way.
we lose?
Yeah.
Did we lose her last year?
Yeah, she was last year. And actually, I'm with Brandon. I never enjoyed her that much. I never enjoyed her characters. I enjoyed.
I love 99.999% of human race.
Kristen Wiig.
And Kristen Wiig's. Like, honestly,
She's the .01.
Wow.
Dang,
She-
really? All like the like.
For me, it's Kristen Wiig's and Hitler. That's
no
it.
kidding. Wow.
That's
Wow.
it. No,
And,
I
and
really
we lost
don't
Bill
like her.
Hader, so we lost my
She is.
Stefan.
Stefan.
Yeah.
We lost Stefan.
And
I
they
love
did a
Stefan.
great final Stefan. That was cool.
They did.
Yeah, Fred Armisen. I never cared for him, but he was really solid.
He was really good.
Bill Hader, loved Bill Hader.
Bill
Now
Hader's cool.
is Seth Meyers? Seth Meyers.
He left.
He left 'cause
He's
she's
going to
gone.
take over.
He's
yeah.
taking over Jimmy's show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he
Jimmy
left,
Fallon.
and then Jason Sudeikis.
He's their main writer too.
yeah,
That's-
he was their head writer.
Wow, it's gonna be a whole new feel next year, I'm sure.
Yeah, the cast is right now very, very unrecognizable because a lot of their cast this year was featured players.
Yeah. A.D.
And-
Bryant.
But a lot of times they do a refresh of cast. I mean, there are eras where they're just like, everybody's leaving.
Yeah,
refresh.
and they
Is
actually-
Jay Farrow still on it?
Yeah, and
Jay
he
Farrow's on
got
it?
moved up to the regular cast this year, and he's been getting really a lot stronger in his sketches.
Farrow's pretty good.
Bobby Moynihan is getting a lot stronger. He's
Yeah.
he's the funny fat
He's
one.
the funny fat guy.
And then they have a new featured player this year, Cecily Strong.
She's great.
She is really she's
the
a
dark-haired
great,
one,
yeah,
right?
the dark,
Yeah.
and Kate McKinnon actually the blonde one.
Yeah.
That's going to be like the new Tina Fey,
amazed with all the
Amy
names.
Poehler thing because
I like it.
they're both very strong.
What about the black guy from Good Burger?
Fair enough.
He's still in the cast. He's doing
still
like the
on.
Tim Meadows thing where he's just hanging out for 10 years.
about the Good Burger?
He's going to do like Al Sharpton and
Wow.
I feel it's important to say this is the second Good Burger conversation
Oh,
I've
man.
gotten this week.
You know what that means?
Done.
Photoshopping the Good Burger.
oh, okay, we'll add that to the list.
Score! I'll be the burger.
That's
Instead of flipping burgers in the back, I'll be flipping
I'll
pods.
be the orange soda. Matt
is-
can be cradling
so-
me gently.
So
in
is
the
Matt
arm.
back up now? Is he good?
Matt
He's
broke
ba-
even.
The Good Burger thing set him over the top?
Yeah, no,
maybe?
he broke even.
All right. Good
Fair
job.
enough.
Story of my life.
Brandon is clearly the winner today.
Nice.
Matt broke even. Todd and I are still just chilling, like, you know.
Villains.
Brandon always
Yeah.
wins.
Yeah.
At life.
Brandon's always the winner.
I'm going to show my nipple.
That's because I'm a Wookiee.
Why can't I win?
Anybody? I said I'm a
Todd, you wear a
Wookiee. You
NASA
said I always win.
shirt.
I said I'm a
Oh,
Wookiee.
man. Thanks.
And it's
I-
blue.
Wow,
Thanks,
the
Matt.
fact that no one responded to that really says a lot about our crew.
I don't. What are you
Because you should
driving
let the Wookiee win. So I said I'm a Wookiee because you said I always win.
Oh my God!
Anybody?
I'm ashamed that I didn't pick up on that. No,
Everybody's
I
down
am-
a point.
Yeah,
So many-
I-
Wow,
Everybody's down.
Fuzzball.
So Matt, you're back out.
Everybody goes down.
Oh, how the tables
Yeah,
turn.
Todd and I are negative one. I feel like
And this
I
time
should
you
also.
get to do the 60-second cooldown, the three of you, and I get to sit out because I've obviously won.
Okay. Today I learned that apparently Todd owns people.
Yeah, that's true.
Good. Next.
I learned that George something is retiring from Green Lantern writing.
Jeff Johns, wrong. You're out. Next.
I heard that it is not called the Next Box.
Good. Nick.
I learned that Jackie Day is that her name? Jackie Day.
Jamie Day.
Jamie Day.
You didn't learn a thing.
I learned that Jamie Day. That was close. That,
That was pretty
literally
close.
an
Pretty
hour
close.
and 20 minutes ago.
Nurse Jackie Day.
Yes, Nurse Jackie Day has never seen Raiders of the Lost Ark before, and
right?
that is a tragedy on a pretty high level.
It's true.
Okay, Matt, I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. Go.
I learned that the first movie Nick fell in love with was Jurassic Park.
Oh, fair enough. Todd.
I learned that there was a DuckTales movie that I had never seen.
Very good. Nick.
I learned that life model replicas are a thing.
Nice.
I never
Wow.
knew about those before, and so I'm kind of excited if they go that route.
Matt.
I learned that Todd owns an Oriental.
Oh, gosh.
No, that's a repeat.
It is?
And I have to
Oh,
bleep
it's
that.
people. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
and I
man.
have to
All right, you're officially out, Todd.
Oh, man. I learned. I didn't learn a thing. I'm
Oh,
I'm
crap.
out. I'm
and
out.
Nick, you got anything?
In terms of what I learned today,
He's got a list in front of him. That doesn't count.
No, because this is all like stuff we covered. I have to say something that I learned, which is I don't think this will count for the podcast, but I learned that Brandon's a horrible teacher.
Wow.
Oh, horrible. That's so mean. I was teacher a year, 2 years ago, just saying.
No. Brandon is a
What's
great
up,
teacher
son?
for the
What's
record.
up? And let's end it with one more I learned. I learned that 75% of us are against rape in movies.
75% of the Played Out podcast members.
I thought that'd be a good to end it.
Yeah, that's.
Oh God, Starship Troopers forever.